Week number 4, winner of Feeding Farmers in the Field, Keith Berning, the Berning Farm, and we're in what county?
Shelby.
What's the closest town?
It'd be Anna, Ohio.
Anna, Ohio. And we're going to not only talk about crops this visit, but also talk about some of the livestock. So what came first, crops or livestock for you?
For me, actually, it came crops, and then in 2019 and 2020, I started investing in some Black Angus cattle, and I've kind of expanded both here very recently, and it's kind of works in contingencies of when crops are down, usually cattle are up, so it's a good mix.
A good mix indeed. Now, if I remember our early conversations, you started on the farm when you were about 16, is that correct?
I started farming my own land when I was 16. I started on the farm when I was probably 10 or 12, as any farm kid does. When you live on a farm, you get thrown into things such as raking hay, baling hay, moving hay, mixing feed as when I was turned 14, kind of doing that stuff. And then we slowly transitioned and got out of milking cows when I was 18. And we started a beef herd when I was 19 and 20. So that's kind of where we've gone from there.
And you're still trying to grow the farm. And at this point, we talked more about growing acreage. But first of all, tell people about what crops you currently raise.
I currently raise corn, soybeans, a little bit of alfalfa hay. And then every once in a while, most falls, I try to raise a cover crop as a triticale or wheat to feed my cattle as silage.
When we looked at the crops out here, you've already got a good bit of silage already in the bag, so that's good. You've got some corn to go, but the double crop beans, there were some areas were 2 feet tall and some a foot, but same field, same day. That's kind of Mother Nature twist, right?
Yeah, it was kind of tough conditions when I put them in, and I kind of knew that they were, double crop beans around here can either be 40 bushels or 10 bushels, and you can go either way. So I had some wheat, and I didn't want to put in a cover crop for the fall, so I was like, I'll try to get some revenue off those acres. So best I could to grow another crop.
And when we look at that double crop, we were joking, no, drop your phone and go in the crack. It wasn't dry. You actually got it in. Then it was that wet, and it never sealed back up for this summer.
Yeah. That when I put them beans in, I had a lot of issues with closing because it was awfully muddy. But I had some other stuff I wanted to get done in baling, and I used that tractor for that different things. So the beans had to go in when they went in, and I had to have a decent stand, so I'm not too upset with them, but they look good.
You converted the dairy barn to the beef operation and hay storage. How many different types of, you're running cow-calf, you've got some feeder steers, what else here?
Yeah, like you said, I got mainly cow-calf and feeders, and I'm looking to go into background in cattle here shortly. Try to help a little bit of cash flow issues of this year's kind of been tough. So, trying to change a little different things because finishing them out takes a long time, and it's a lot of cash up hand to buy cattle and then sit on them for a year, 16 months. It's a long time. But
it is a process. You're going to try to sell these in the neighborhood for freezer beef.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to expand into that. This year's been difficult to sell those because of, I base my price off the market, and when you look at $1,000 for a quarter of beef, it adds up, and it hurts a lot of people to, buy that amount of meat all at one time. It's kind of hard for people to do. So I understand it. So I kind of, adapt and go from where I can.
And just for the folks that may not quite understand the beef market at this point, we're at a 62-year low in cow numbers. So it takes 3 years to get another productive cow. And with the border shut down to Mexico due to disease concerns, we've driven that price up, but some are really making it work. And you've been doing a lot of pencil pushing.
Yeah, it's been tough. I got lucky, and when I started in 2020, I got started when it was, beef was really cheap and cows were really cheap, and I could buy them really cheap, and I started that way, and now I've kind of rode that market up, and it's worked out for me. I've made good money. I've, started a family that way and gone that way, so it's helped me get through those times to kind of get where I am today of owning a farm now. So it's a long process, but I got there.
A process being tackled day to day here on the Berning Farm, and week number 4 winner of Feeding Farmers in the Field. Who nominated you?
I actually did.
There you go. We got one that we actually found who nominated. Keith, congratulations and thanks for the visit today.
Yep. Thank you very much, Dale.